Right, so yes, as I said I would do, I'm going to give you my thoughts slash review on WrestleMania 29. I did stay up in the UK up until 4 a.m. I watched the whole show, so I'm going to give you my thoughts on each of the results and everything like that, and the show as a whole. So to kick it off, on the pre-show we had The Miz versus Wade Barrett for the Intercontinental title. Miz won it, and so Miz is the new Intercontinental Champion. But it wasn't a great match really. It was only about 5 minutes long. It kind of was over in an instant really, and I really think they should have put that on the main show, because I think the main show needed the titles on there, like the Intercontinental title, and we didn't even get the United States title being defended by Cesaro, which was stupid in my opinion. I think at WrestleMania, I think every title should be defended, because it's their biggest show, and maybe they could have, I don't know, they could have just spiced it up a bit by doing like a big 6-man ladder match or something for the for the United States title, with just a load of jobbers in it, just something to get the crowd pumped, because we never see these sort of ladder matches anymore, or TLC matches or anything like that at WrestleMania anymore. They're very rare, so it would have been good to see that, but sadly we didn't get it. So yeah, that was Miz to win the title. I think Miz is going to be quite a good Intercontinental Champion. I don't think he's ready for the big time again yet, but I think Wade Barrett is. I'm hoping they're going to propel Wade Barrett more into the kind of SmackDown main event scene, sort of feuding for the world title, so that'll be quite good, hopefully. And then to kick off the main show, we had The Shield versus Randy Orton, Big Show and Sheamus. Now, I was quite looking forward to this match, and I was quite shocked it was the first one. So to kick it off with that match, I was kind of straight into it, like ready to go straight away, and I was supporting The Shield. I'm a big fan of The Shield. The Shield got the win, but again, it didn't feel like a WrestleMania match. It didn't feel kind of epic enough. It felt like something we'd see on a SmackDown main event, so there wasn't anything too special about it. So once Shield did get the win, kind of Big Show turned on Sheamus and Randy Orton by giving them the knockout punch. I don't know whether that was supposed to be a heel turn, even though the Big Show was still kind of a heel, even though he was teaming up with Sheamus and Orton. We don't know. It would have been really interesting if Randy Orton turned heel, because Randy Orton wants to turn heel. He's always speaking about it on Twitter. So I was really hoping for an Orton heel turn here, maybe Orton joining the Shield or something like that. But no, we didn't get that. And it looks like the Shield are going to continue their kind of feuds with people staying together as a team. But who knows what's happening with Orton, Big Show and Sheamus. We'll have to find out on Raw. So then it was Mark Henry versus Ryback. Now I was looking forward to this match, and I think it was okay. It wasn't epic, it wasn't amazing, but like I said in my past video, the match could have been amazing, or it could have been quite boring, and it's sort of in the middle really. Ryback got a heavy beatdown. Ryback wasn't in the match much until Ryback lifted up Mark Henry onto his shoulders, ready to do the finisher, and then he kind of gave way, and Mark Henry landed on him, and that was the most shocking thing I've seen, that Mark Henry actually got the win from that, literally just by falling onto Ryback. He got the win. So Ryback actually suffered a big defeat, and I think that is a big defeat for Ryback, especially kind of gaining momentum. That is a big heavy loss on Ryback's side. But Ryback did kind of redeem himself by pulling off the finisher on Mark Henry. He lifted him up onto his shoulders, and that was kind of a big shut up to all the people who were saying Ryback is just kind of a fake muscle man, it's not real muscles and everything like that, because to lift Mark Henry is something not many people in that company can do, and to march around the ring with him as well, so that was very impressive. So hopefully Ryback is going to get some good momentum going after seeing that, and again I could see this feud continuing. I think it's going to continue to Extreme Rules, because I don't think Ryback's going to be happy with that sort of loss. But I don't think that should happen. I don't think feuds should continue after WrestleMania. It feels like you're a bit cheated, because you've been building up for this biggest pay-per-view of the year, and then you get there and it's not even the end of their current storyline, and it's going to continue. It doesn't feel the same. It doesn't feel like a big WrestleMania match, if you know what I mean. So then it was Team Hell No versus Dolph Ziggler and Big E Langston. Again, wasn't an outstanding WrestleMania match. It was something we could have had in the main event of SmackDown. But again, Team Hell No got the win. Kind of quite straightforward, really. Quite straightforward win. There wasn't any kind of cheating involved, really. And then Daniel Bryan was very over with the crowd. I thought that was quite cool that even after the match, all the yes chants were coming out again, really kind of loudly. To that, I mean, that shows that Daniel Bryan still has a massive following. I think it's time that Team Hell No drop the titles soon, because they've been the titles champions for over half a year now, and I think we need Daniel Bryan back on his own. I think he needs to be on his own again. He's got the fan base, and he's got he's everything you want as a main event star, really. He's got the fans, he's got the moves, he's a very good entertainer. And that's what you want, so hopefully we get an end to Team Hell No soon. So again, I don't really know what's going to happen with them next. They're probably just going to keep continuing feuds with probably like the Primetime Players or Team Road Scholars or something like that. But like I said, hopefully it comes to an end soon. It wasn't too much of like I said, it wasn't an outstanding WrestleMania match. It was sort of like a SmackDown main event. And then we had Fandango versus Chris Jericho. Now, I expected the Fandango win, and it did happen. Nothing really to get excited about too much. Fandango looked good. Of course, this was his in-ring debut match. Again, it's quite a weird decision that WWE have decided to give Fandango, who's not proven at all, not over with the fans or anything, to stick him straight in a WrestleMania match when people who have been in the company for years, and even Antonio Cesaro, who is the actual US champion, isn't on the match card at all. But Fandango, who's only been around for about a month and hasn't actually had a match in the company, is straight away in the mid-card of WrestleMania, is something I can't get my head around. I just don't know why they do these decisions like this. Fandango, there's nothing against him, he's quite entertaining, and I'm quite looking forward to seeing how the character develops, but he wasn't ready for WrestleMania yet. There's no way that Fandango is the kind of character we should be seeing wrestling and beating Chris Jericho at WrestleMania. Of course, Chris Jericho, an established legend in the company who's been around for years and years, literally just beating him when we haven't had any kind of build-up for Fandango yet, so I'm kind of intrigued to why they did that. Of course, this means Jericho's going to have a break, I think, because he is going on the tour with Fozzy, so it looks like Jericho's going to go for a while now, and who knows what's going to happen with Fandango. We could either get the new... I don't even know how he could propel himself, because you don't really see these kind of gimmicky characters in that kind of upper mid-card or main event scene or anything like that. Characters like that usually end up like Santino and Great Khali, where you're just jobbing every week to someone, so who knows what's going to happen with Fandango. But again, it was a decent match. Fandango had a couple of good moments in there, and then he won with a kind of roll-up when Jericho couldn't manage the walls of Jericho because he had an injured knee. Fandango rolled him up for the kind of cheap, quick pin. So again, I'm intrigued to see what happens with that. So it was a kind of tale of two halves in WrestleMania. The first lot of matches were kind of SmackDown main event style matches that weren't too epic or anything like that, and in the later half you had the big matches. So we had Del Rio versus Jack Swagger now, and this was I quite enjoyed this match. It was very good. It was a very good technical wrestling match. Apart from there was some rubbish going on with Zeb Coulter and everything, attacking Ricardo Rodriguez, but in the ring I think Del Rio and Jack Swagger put on quite a good match together, especially with their submissions. Of course, both of them have submissions as their finishing move, the cross arm breaker and the ankle lock, or the Patriot lock, whatever it's called, and they were kind of reversing each other into those different locks, which was quite cool to see. But I was shocked to see Del Rio did get the win, but I was shocked to see that he won it just by a simple cross arm breaker. I didn't think that was epic enough for a WrestleMania moment. Again, like I said, I think WWE is struggling at the moment to try and make these epic moments at WrestleMania, because these matches that we've seen so far is things that we haven't seen any better or at Raw or SmackDown or anything like that, or one of the smaller pay-per-views. So I was shocked to see Del Rio get the the clean submission win. And I was fully expecting Swagger to kind of lay a beat down on Del Rio and then Dolph Ziggler to come out and cash in, but we didn't get a Dolph Ziggler cash in. When is he going to cash in that briefcase? He's had it for, I think it was July, wasn't it? Something like that. He's had it for so long now, and it just needs to happen soon, because we need something like that. We need a big change in WWE to kind of spice things up a little bit, and that's what we need. So I was praying for a cash in, but again, it didn't happen. So maybe we're going to get one on a kind of Raw or SmackDown when we're kind of fully least expecting it. But who knows? Who knows when he's going to cash in? But again, that was an okay match. And then we had the three big ones. So to start off, we had Undertaker versus CM Punk. Now, definitely, this was match of the night by far. No other matches came close to this. As usual with the Undertaker matches, they're very kind of entertaining, close pinfalls towards the end of the matches and everything. Some great moments in this match. CM Punk did the elbow drop on the Undertaker, who was laying on the announce table. Unfortunately, the announce table didn't explode, which would have been good if it did. So that was a bit of a down moment. But overall, the match was really kind of great. It was an awesome match. Undertaker didn't show any signs of tiredness or anything. He was still into it, even though he's quite old now. He was still putting on a brilliant show. Like I said, reversals of finishing moves, close pinfalls. As usual every year, there is that moment where you think the streak's ending and then it doesn't happen. There was that moment this year as well when CM Punk smashed Undertaker in the head with the urn and then pinned him Undertaker style, with the tongue poking out and everything like that. And I actually for a split second thought the streak was ending. But of course no, that's Undertaker, and then he did come up. There was an awesome moment as well where CM Punk did the GTS onto Taker. Taker bounced off the ropes and reversed it into a tombstone pile driver, which was an awesome moment as well. Of course, CM Punk kicked out of that, which had a great pop in the crowd. Crowd were really into this match as well, which was quite good. So yeah, that was a brilliant match. Definitely match of the night. Of course, Undertaker got the win and he's 21-0. I've heard rumours that CM Punk's having a break now, so who knows, see what happens with this. And see what happens with Taker, whether he's going to kind of disappear for a year again now, who knows, we'll have to watch Raw. And then it was Triple H versus Brock Lesnar, and I enjoyed this match. This is the match I was looking most forward to, and it didn't have any proper technical wrestling moves or anything. It was just a proper hardcore match with steel steps involved, steel chairs, sledgehammers. It was all involved, and it was very entertaining. Of course, Brock Lesnar pulls off that kind of monster heel really well, and he was showing his kind of dominance in the match for ages, kind of chucking Triple H around. Shawn Michaels was involved as well, so was Paul Heyman as well, and we did get kind of moments between all of them where Shawn Michaels got involved and Paul Heyman did get involved as well. But overall, I think Triple H and Brock Lesnar both put on a brilliant show together. It was hardcore, maybe not as hardcore as we wanted, like Attitude Era style, but there was still steps involved, there was still chairs, sledgehammers, it was all involved. But I just wanted a bit more, maybe a bit of kind of fighting in the crowd or fighting up on the stage or something, or blood even. We didn't get any blood in the match. But there was some good moments as well. Triple H did get the Kimura lock onto Brock Lesnar, and I thought Brock Lesnar was going to tap, but he didn't. And then Triple H eventually got the win with the pedigree on the steel steps. And like I said, it was a good, enjoyable match, but I just wanted a little bit more from it. And of course, this means Triple H's career isn't over, so maybe he's staying around in WWE for a bit. Who knows? So I'm guessing we're not going to see Brock Lesnar again for a while, possibly on Raw tonight. But in the long run, I don't think he's going to be around much longer. So overall, I think that was a decent match. Just a little something missing from it. It wasn't as epic as I thought. Maybe if there was a bit more involvement from Triple H, because he was kind of getting a heavy beat down for the whole match. But overall, it is enjoyable. And then, of course, we had the main event, John Cena versus The Rock for the WWE title. And for the first portion of the match, the first sort of 20 minutes, exactly the same as last year's match. It was literally a carbon copy where John Cena gets the upper hand, The Rock gets the upper hand, like tests of strength and everything. And it was entertaining. But again, we've seen it from last year, so it wasn't any improvement or anything, which was quite annoying to see. But the last 10-15 minutes of the match was much more exciting than last year's end. There was lots of kind of AA reversals, rock bottom reversals, kind of people's elbow, five knuckle shuffle. They were all being reversed, and it was really exciting to see. It really was unpredictable. Everyone knew John Cena was going to win this match, but there was kind of moments where you thought, hang on, The Rock's going to retain here. But of course it didn't. Eventually John Cena did get the win with the AA after lots of kind of reversals of moves, which was entertaining, like I said. John Cena did get the win. He is the champion again. So I think this match overall was better than last year's match. Again, like I said, the first portion was exactly the same as last year's. The last half is what made this year's match better than last year's, but I think the match really did suffer because the crowd were really dead in this match. They didn't have any interest in it at all, and I think the crowd were most kind of hyped in the Undertaker Punk match, and apart from that they were dead the whole night, and I really wasn't expecting that from the New York crowd, because they're usually quite vocal and quite loud, but there was nothing really. So of course John Cena was the champion, and after the match they had the really cheesy kind of hugging it out and raising each other's arms, saying who's the best. So it was kind of like Rock was kind of passing the torch over to John Cena. People don't like to see it, but we knew it was going to happen. You had to face it. We knew one day this was going to happen when you see The Rock raising John Cena's arm and pointing to him. Fair play to them though, they put on some good matches. It's been a good feud. Maybe it stretched out a bit too long. Maybe having two main events and two WrestleManias on the spin was a bit too much, but it's been a great feud. You have to admit it. It's brought a lot of people back into WWE. The Rock is the best superstar they've had of all time, hands down. And he brings people in, and it's been really entertaining. So I think we'll see Rock on Raw tonight, and maybe even Extreme Rules for one last match. But I think this is definitely coming to the end of Rock's little stint in WWE. He'll be back one day, but I think this is definitely it now. We're not going to get another Rock match next year at WrestleMania. I can pretty much guarantee it. I think that's Rock over for a little bit now. We won't see him for maybe a couple of years even. But WrestleMania as a whole, WrestleMania 29, it was entertaining, and that's literally the best I can say. It was entertaining, but it wasn't epic. It wasn't unlike anything we've seen before. There was no shocks, there was no surprises, there was no Dolph Ziggler cash-in, there was no US title match, there was no sort of interesting match like a ladder match or anything involving all the jobbers, someone like Kofi Kingston, R-Truth, all those sort of people. They could have just stuck them in one ladder match, and that would have been entertaining, but we didn't get that. So there's a lot of things that WWE did wrong, such as Fandango getting a match over other people, and sort of The Miz winning a title on the pre-show and not on the main show. So, like I said before, the first half of WrestleMania, very kind of bland and quite something we've seen before on the main event of SmackDown and Raw. But the last half with the three big matches, Undertaker Punk, Triple H Lesnar and John Cena The Rock, they did kind of make up for it. They were good, solid matches. They weren't epic, but they were good, solid matches. And I think overall, it's not the best WrestleMania, of course, not by a long shot, but it's a solid, average WrestleMania, which could have been improved lots by much more interesting match types and some better decisions by the people behind the scenes. I'll give it about a solid 6 out of 10, 5-6 out of 10. It's very average in my opinion. Like I said, last half very good, first half very bland. So that's about it for my thoughts on WrestleMania. Leave your thoughts down below on what you thought of the show if you did watch it. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you on the next one.